my most eminent friend, Dr. D.R. Karthikeyan, my dear old friends, Tanmay Chakravarti and Anjali Quatra, who have both been sources of great inspiration to me, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would first of all like to profusely thank the internationally reputed Foundation for Peace, Harmony and Good Governance, under Dr. Karthikeyan's ever-inspiring stewardship, for having invited me to address this August panel discussion on a subject of significant topical importance. I feel honored that you've considered me worthy of such a privilege. Diverting for a moment, today is the day of our Eid festival. Today is also a red letter day in India's history. On 7 July 1896, exactly 120 years ago, the Lumiere brothers, the legendary French cinematographers, called the founding fathers of modern film, showcased 6 films at the Watson Hotel in Mumbai, which marked the birth of Indian cinema. And on 7 July 2007, the list of 7 wonders of the world compiled by the new 7 Wonders Foundation on the basis of more than 100 million votes cast through the internet or by telephone embraced the iconic Taj Mahal, about which our great Nobel laureate, national poet Rabindranath Tagore had aptly observed, the Taj Mahal rises above the banks of the river like a solitary tear suspended on the cheek of time. When the Mughal army under Emperor Akbar's titanic commander, Raja Kanwar Man Singh, was hesitating to cross the turbulent Indus River in Attock, the legendary poet Swami Tulsidas proclaimed, Sabhe bhumi Gopal ki yame atak kaha, jaake man mein atak hai, soi atak raha. All the land belongs to God. Where is the obstruction? But if there is an obstruction in somebody's mind, the obstruction will always persist. Hearing these galvanizing words, the heroic Raja fearlessly crossed the river and his army followed him. This was the historic prelude to a spectacular victory over 5 powerful Afghan tribes. The human mind is a powerhouse of unimaginable depth, dimension, and direction. To accomplish real success in this world and to use your mind power, you have to know exactly what is it you want to do in life. To harness your mind power, you need to possess a clear and well-defined goal. This might not be an easy step and may require incisive thinking, investigation, and introspection. After discovering what you really want to accomplish, you need to necessarily devise a viable plan for action. After deciding on a goal and coming up with a plan, you need to hold in your mind a clear mental image of your goal. This means using the power of the mind. Affirmations constitute another useful mental tool for achieving success because of their ability to rewire our brains. They raise the level of feel-good hormones and energize our brains to form new clusters of positive thought. The word affirmation comes from the Latin affirmare, meaning to make steady, strengthen. Affirmations help purify our thoughts and restructure the dynamics of our brains so that we really begin to think nothing is impossible. What you affirm sinks into and becomes a part of the subconscious mind and consequently affects your behavior and actions. The charismatic American blogger Tia Walker succinctly observed, affirmations are our mental vitamins, providing the supplementary positive thoughts we need to balance the barrage of negative events and thoughts we experience daily. Another important tool is telepathy. Telepathy means the transference of thoughts from the mind of one person to the mind of another, or several other persons, usually subconsciously. The word telepathy is derived from the Greek terms tele, means distant, and pathe, occurrence or feeling. The term was coined in 1882 by the venerable English poet, classicist, and philologist Frederick William Henry Myers, who was one of the founder members of the London-based Society for Psychical Research. Brain-to-brain interface is made possible because of the way brain cells communicate with each other. The concept suggests the communication effects so powerful that they bridge the spatial distance between persons. The renowned Czech-born Austrian neurologist and the father of psychoanalysis, Dr. Sigmund Freud, was interested in and eventually accepted telepathic communication as psychoanalytic. What Freud meant by telepathy is what contemporary psychoanalysis refers to as unconscious communication and the peculiar, often inexplicable forms. It assumes in clinical contexts, cell-to-cell communication occurs via a process known as synaptic transmission, where chemical signals are passed between cells, resulting in electrical spikes in the receiving cells. The amazing power of telepathy has been vividly portrayed by the notable Glasgow-born Scottish-Canadian short story writer and novelist Robert Barr. No one can tell when two people walk closely together what unconscious communication one mind may have with another. You need to have the capacity to effectively transmit your thoughts to other persons who would back and communicate with them. You need to believe in what you are communicating and be enthusiastic and persuasive. Otherwise, they won't listen to you at all or care about the fulfillment of your plans. Motivation is another mental and emotional tool that you require for achieving success. How can you achieve anything at all if you're not motivated? The celebrated Greek writer Nikos Kazantzakis aptly observed, in order to succeed, we must first believe that we can. The prodigious Russian-born American novelist, philosopher, and playwright Ayn Rand penned, a creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. The power of imagination, which can also be called inner vision, is a cosmic power that can transform your whole life. Imagination makes it possible to experience the whole world inside the mind. It gives one the ability to look at any situation from diverse angles and enables him to mentally explore the past and the future. In your imagination, you can travel to any destination, literally at lightning speed, without any debilitating hindrance. Imagination includes all the five senses and feelings that are undefinable. It is possible for a person to imagine a sound, taste, smell, a physical sensation, or a feeling or emotion. Training of the imagination gives the ability to combine all the senses. A developed and strong imagination does not make you a daydreamer or an impractical being shorn of sense and sensibility. On the contrary, it strengthens your creative abilities and is a potent tool for recreating and fashioning your world and life. The creative power of imagination has an important role in the achievement of success in any field. Few people possess the ability to control what enters their minds. They let their minds and imaginations do as they please and let any stray thoughts or mental images appear on the screens of their imaginations. They are like rudderless ships set adrift upon stormy, uncharted seas. This lack of control leads to lack of control over their lives. Let your imagination go on the rampage, and your life will be an unsalvageable mess. Control it and visualize only what you intentionally decide to visualize, and you can change your life in accordance with your will. The prolific francophonic Genevan philosopher and writer Jean-Jacques Rousseau appropriately remarked, "The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless." Meditation is yet another time-tested, effectual method of mind control. Meditation is an ancient relaxation practice that has been followed mainly by Hindu and Buddhist saints and sages since time immemorial. Its positive effects on the body and mind have been proved beyond a shadow of doubt, and meditation has attained worldwide acceptance and popularity. When one meditates, he goes deep into himself and slowly silences his thoughts. Meditation is the art of awareness. Any act that is done with awareness and doesn't involve judgment or feelings is meditation. With meditation, you can increase your brain power in various ways, like altering your subconscious to a higher level. According to the well-known Australian actor and singer Hugh Michael Jackman, he said, meditation is all about the pursuit of nothingness. It's like the ultimate rest. It's better than the best sleep you've ever had. It's a quieting of the mind. It sharpens everything, especially your appreciation of our surroundings. It keeps life fresh. And the honorific 17th century English cleric, Jeremy Taylor, popularly known as the Shakespeare of divines who experienced the incalculable power of meditation, wrote, "Meditation is the tongue of the soul and the language of our spirit." Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to continuously create new neutral pathways. When we repeat a skill that we are trying to master, we strengthen the neural networks that represent that action. The same happens physically in the brain, whether we perform the action or simply visualize it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between an action you performed and an action you visualize. The illustrious physicist, mathematician, and Nobel laureate Dr. Albert Einstein, who is credited with asserting that imagination is more important than knowledge, used visualization throughout his entire life. Few people are aware of the thoughts that pass through their minds. Most thinking is done in an automatic, mechanical manner. If our thoughts are positive, then things will be tickety-boo. But if they're negative, they might cause enormous trouble or turbulence. The mind is like a small, untamed child who accepts and takes for granted whatever it sees or hears without judgment and discretion and without gauging the consequences. We are constantly flooded with thoughts, ideas, and information transmitted through the five senses. Other people, the newspaper, the internet, the television. These thoughts, ideas, and information penetrate our minds, whether we are aware of this process or not. This outside flow influences our behavior and reactions. This means that we let outside powers shape our lives and destinies. So where is the freedom of thought and action? Why let outside influences control your mind and life? Why let other people's thoughts control your life and mind? If you leave your mind open to every thought that comes your way, you put your life in other people's hands, and without realizing it, you accept their thoughts and act in accordance with them. In the opinion of Freud, the unconscious mind has a will and purpose of its own that cannot be known to the conscious mind. Hence the term unconscious, a term that Dr. Karthikeyan used, and as a repository for socially unacceptable ideas, wishes or desires, traumatic memories and painful emotions put out of mind by the mechanism of psychological repression. In a larger historical context, Freud responded to the rise of irrational political forces in Europe that appealed to unconscious, uncontrolled, and ultimately destructive mental forces that eventually dominated the middle of the 20th century in Europe. If a man wants to be the master of his mind and life, he should not let other people's thoughts, desires, and motives rule his life unless he consciously chooses to. My friend Anjali and Dr. Karthikeyan have placed before you many quotes, but I am emboldened to share with you a few more timeless quotes on the power of the human mind and how to achieve mind mastery. Lord Buddha has been quoted by Dr. Karthikeyan, but he also said, "Our life is the creation of our mind. And if a man can control his mind, he can find the way to enlightenment, and all wisdom and virtue will naturally come to him." Swami Vivekananda has been quoted by Anjali. I'd like to add to what he said. He said, "The greatest force is derived from the power of thought. The finer the element, the more powerful it is. The silent power of thought influences people even at a distance, because mind is one as well as many. The universe is a cobweb. Minds are spiders." Significantly, India and the world remembered with deep reverence Swami Vivekananda's 114th death anniversary on 4th of July 2016. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, said, "A man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes." And he said, "You can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind." Plutarch, the great philosopher, said, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." Aristotle, he said, "The energy of the mind is the essence of life." Einstein again, he said, "The world we have created is a product of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking." Darwin Kinsley said, "You have powers you never imagined of. You can do things you never thought you could do. There are no limitations in what you can do except the limitations of your own mind. Benjamin Disraeli, the great British Prime Minister, said, nurture your mind with great thoughts. To believe in the heroic makes heroes. And of course, one of my great favorite leaders, Sir Winston Churchill, said, the emperors of the future are the emperors of the mind. In conclusion, I am drawn irresistibly to Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's truly inspirational words from his Nobel Prize-winning collection of poems, Gitanjali, which used to be my school prayer in Delhi Public School. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country wake. Thank you very much.